I can't tell if the camera's too dark, but whatever. Today, I am a pop of colour. For those of you who are not watching, you must go and watch. It's colour on colour on colour on colour. And my parting is the opposite way, so that's an even bigger reason to go and watch. On the Patreon page, patreon.com, Diaries of a Doctor. Anyway, we're following on from our 3-part series, Tinder. Good, the bad and the ugly. Today we're talking about the bad, and it gets worse, because tomorrow, actually it's not tomorrow, but maybe I'll record it tomorrow, is the ugly. So there's definitely worse than the bad. I'm leaving the really bad stuff till the ugly day, which will be on Monday, even though I'm uploading this maybe a couple of hours late, but doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. I've got a problem that I leave things until the extremely last minute, and it's only at that point that I have enough stress to make myself do it. But before then, I don't have enough stress, so I just don't do it. That's what happens. I thought about trying to change it, and then I realised that I can't, and that's just kind of me. It means I'm late all the time. It means, except to things that have a scheduled departure, like a train or a plane, then I'm literally just on time. If it's a very important or expensive plane or train, then I am definitely on time. Anyway, so I'm just saying that because basically I was just sat downstairs and I was editing shorts for TikTok and for YouTube and Instagram, because shorts are the way forward. Anyway, right, you didn't come here to talk about content, did you? No. We're talking about Tinder. It's been a long time since I went on Tinder. If you haven't listened to the first episode, maybe go back and listen to that one. It's not that important. You could start listening from this one if you wanted to. But I guess it gives you some context, but I guess I could go through it again. I was also quite sick in that one. I'm also quite sick now, but significantly less sick. So hopefully I sound less snotty. That was not a vibe, was it? Where do I even start with the bad of Tinder? Because I think I was sort of creeping into it I keep saying last week. It was 2 days ago. 2 or 3 days ago, I kept creeping into it. My mind can be quite negative sometimes, and it can be quite hard for me to, stay in the good. So I am trying. I'm really scared that I'm going to watch this back and be like, why is your hair on the other side of your face? Put it back. I don't know. I'm just feeling it today. But also, I'm seeing myself in reverse, I think, in the camera. So I'm not. Actually, no, I'm not. I don't know. Anyway. Right. Come on, let's get down to the meat of it. I mean, the obvious first thing is Tinder dates are awkward. But aren't any dates awkward? Aren't all dates awkward a bit, usually? And if they're not, I do start to question, why is it not awkward? If it's not awkward, that person, I'm just speaking from my own experience here, okay? So that person tends to be quite confident, and I feel like confidence kind of brings a sense of arrogancy, and it doesn't tend to go well or end well, as in might give you a happy ending but not a happily ever after, if you know what I'm saying. So I have had some very fun dates, but they were 100% only after one thing. So some of them were very honest about that, some of them were not. We'll get into that. Sorry, I'm just wiping my nose. I know it's really gross. But would you rather snot coming out or, you know, a little bit of wiping here and there? I know what I'd prefer. So I can't even remember what I was saying now. Awkward. Let's go back to my notes. I've had many an awkward date. I don't think I'm that an awkward person, but if somebody else is awkward, it kind of just makes me a little bit awkward too, because I'm like, I also think like if somebody's awkward, then they might be nervous, yes, but they also just might not be the kind of person for me. Like, I'm the kind of person that I'll just meet somebody and I'm not that awkward, so I need somebody who's like not hugely awkward, like can talk to unknown humans with some ease. I'll talk about a couple of awkward dates. There have been some dates where it kind of, you just sort of sit in silence. A bit like this. Look around, comment on things that go on around you. But I think it's just that you don't have anything in common. You're not like, oh, like, I can't believe you love underwater chess. Me too. Oh, have you ever, like, what are some chess moves? Have you ever, oh my god, what's that chess move, like the main one? Have you ever checkmated somebody in a snorkel? Like, I haven't. Oh, that's my dream. Like, I really want to do that. If one of you doesn't play underwater chess, but is quite happy to learn about underwater chess, I like to point out that I don't think this is a sport, but it might be. Then they can show interest. But some people don't. They're like, well, I don't know underwater chess, so I'm just not going to ask anything about it. Can we talk about something that I like, please? Like, eating corn on the cobs. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I like to eat corn on the cobs and see how long it takes to come out the other end. It's like a poo sticks, but internal. Did I just say that? Okay, that happened. Yep. Maybe that's why I'm awkward to go on a date with, because I say things like that. I don't know. I don't think I do though. I think, yeah, they're not not necessarily bad people. You just don't vibe with them. You're not like bouncing off of each other, and you haven't got loads in common, and I don't know, maybe they just put something a bit vague on their profile, like, I like adventure. But their kind of adventure is, I don't know, going rock climbing, and I like climbing, but I'm not very good at it, and I wouldn't go like actively seeking it out. But yeah, I think some of that, and I'm gonna, maybe I'll just talk about it now. Some of it is, I kind of take the profile a bit at face value. Like, I don't really read that much into it. I'd rather just like meet somebody, get to know them, and figure out what they actually like, rather than go, okay, they like the same things as me, I think. But I don't know. I went through a phase of what I would call serial dating. By the way, if you haven't heard the podcast Serial Data, there's only like one episode, which I'm really sad about, because it was really bloody good. I think I was looking for like a dating podcast at the time or something, and maybe, I don't know how I came across it. Maybe I was looking for the podcast Serial. I think that's how a lot of people came across Serial Data. And yeah, it's really good. It's like really well story told, and they've got like actors in to say the other lines. So I really enjoyed that, and I was quite sad when it ended, and I really vibed with it. So I do this all the time. I go off on a tangent and then I have no idea what I was talking about. Fuck. I've completely forgotten. I need I don't know. Anyway, it's really late again. I've done it again. It's 1:00 in the morning. I shouldn't podcast this late, but I just get into other things and then I just kind of don't want to stop that. And I do like podcasting. I love it. I love just talking. But some of it is, I also feel a bit listened to. Tom is in the other room. Now I'm talking about dating. It just feels a bit orcs, but it would be great to, I always want more, but it would be great to have my own podcasting room. One of those really soundproof rooms where no one can hear you and you could scream and laugh and do whatever and no one can hear. I went into one of those the other day for my ENT appointment because I had some vertigo, and it felt like I went into a black hole. Honestly, I was all of my sound got eaten up. I was like, what's going on? It was so strange. Yeah, so I really can't remember what I was saying. I don't know. I feel like you can't tell whether you're going to get on with somebody until you actually just meet them. Because people can give off a fun, chatty, quirky, whatever you want vibe. And then you meet them and you're like, oh, you're actually quite boring. But because they have time on Messenger or whatever, they've got time to think about it. And also they can be cool in pictures or whatever. I think this is what I was saying, is it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that you have nothing in common and you just don't vibe as people. Some people just don't want somebody that's quiet. I don't want somebody that's quiet and shy and I don't know, not able to do their own thing. And I don't know, I want to be able to take them to things and they can talk to other people. I have had a few days where sometimes it's been coincidence, I have had things the next day and I've not wanted to be up all night, or they'd be like, oh, I can only meet at this time. I'd be like, I haven't really got that much time, but I'll come and meet you. Anyway, what I'm saying is you just meet somebody for a coffee or just something really brief, just to figure out if you like each other, just first impressions. And then you haven't committed to 2 hours of potential hell. And also lots of money. A coffee, not that much money. I don't think I knew what I wanted back when I was doing this whole online dating thing. I think I did a lot of it wrong, but I think you only learn that you've done stuff wrong when you've done it and you reflect on it. I mean, there are obviously some things, there are some things that you're taught, don't murder somebody, don't, why can I only think of one illegal thing to do? I don't know, don't inject heroin, don't, I don't want to say profanities on here, that's the problem, although I've just said murder and heroin, so I think we're going the wrong way already. I've done it again. I have no idea what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I remember now. I didn't really know what I wanted, and I ended up just meeting people, just getting what I would call, I guess, practice. You just go for loads of dates and sort of see whether you like it, whether you don't, learn from all of those dates and go, okay, I didn't want somebody that was like that. I wanted someone that was I don't know, a bit more outgoing or whatever, or someone who's a bit more into sports or something like that. But I think what I was trying to tell myself when I was that age was that I wanted, I didn't want like a committed long-term relationship. And in reality, I think that I did. Maybe not for the first bit, but like for the later bits, I think I was like telling myself, yeah, you just want to like mess around and like be crazy and whatever. But actually reflecting on it now, I think it just made me feel worse. Like, you end up getting ghosted and like people only want you for sex, and then you're like, oh, does nobody actually like my personality, or do they not find me attractive? Like, do they just literally want to have sex and that's it, and it doesn't matter who with? And you start thinking all these bad things about yourself, whereas actually you were maybe just choosing guys or putting out a persona that was more indicative of, I think I want to just have fun, but actually then you would be like, oh, but now they don't want to spend time with me, and that's a bit sad. So really, did I want to spend time with them? Maybe not them, but maybe I wanted to have somebody. But I think you only learn these things in hindsight. Look, you need to make mistakes to learn from them, don't you? You're not going to listen to somebody else saying, I think that you want a relationship. You're going to know, no, I don't. I'm a rebellious female. I do what I want. And then, I don't know, a bit down the line, you're like, okay, maybe not. I don't know, but I think in some ways you kind of like the insecurity and the excitement, and also you like the fact that guys think that that's what you want, because that's what they want, some of them. By the way, when I speak generically, I don't always mean generically. I'm not going to like correct myself every time I'm like, oh, I only mean some guys here. I'm not being like generic or stereotypical. I am, yeah, can we just put that caveat out there, please? So I have to keep being like, just some guys. I'm just going to be like guys, girls. That's it. But yeah, I think it was damaging in some ways, like a big knock on your own personal, what would you call it? Confidence, I suppose. I want to talk about a guy that, I don't know whether to put this in the bad, really, because it's just a bit of a strange story. So basically, I met up with Tom? Yeah. Are you listening? No. Okay. Well, you're just coughing. Oh, okay. So basically I met up with this guy whose name, I've just remembered it, but I'm not going to say it. But anyway, met up with him, and I think we'll get into ghosting in the next episode, because that's just is a bad time. But I think he ghosted me. I think we met up once and then like we didn't, I don't know, did I ghost him? Did he ghost me? I don't think I ghosted him. Anyway, there was a lack of communication from somewhere, and I don't think it was me. I didn't ghost him, but we'll get into ghosting in the next episode. I'm just being a bit, I've got things going in my mind. I'm like, ghosting, no, I wouldn't do it, but whatever. Anyway, he ghosts me, I think, and maybe like a year later or something like that, it was like a year or two, I see him at a competition, and we were like stood next to each other, and I was like, hi, and he was like, hi. I think he recognised me, but he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name. And I was like, I can't remember if he didn't remember like that we went on a date, or I can't remember. Anyway, he also told me on the date that he was actually married, so I was like, oh, okay. But going through like a divorce, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I met him at this competition, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name, because, and he turns around and he's got this like massive scar on his head, and he's like, I actually had a brain tumour removed. And I was like, okay, that's a good enough excuse not to remember my name. Like, I feel bad now for being that. I didn't say like, how do you not remember my name? Or maybe I did. But I was like, well, I guess we only went on one date, but like, I don't know. I remembered his name. And anyway, I was just like, I don't know. It was just so mind-blowing. I was like, brain tumours are quite rare, not in the southwest though. They're more common in the southwest, but you rarely meet anybody with a brain tumour. I mean, I have because of being a doctor, but I don't know. I was like, did he have a brain tumour when I met him, or like, I don't know. I was just shocked, like really shocked. I'm not taking away from like his experience, like as in his situation, but I'm just talking about from my perspective. Obviously I was like, I wonder what, if we'd carried on dating, like that would have been crazy. And then you just, I don't know, obviously you think about yourself, you're like, well, obviously I've thought about him, but we're not talking about him because I don't want to, get into his life. But I was a bit like, what is his life going to be like now? And then obviously I thought about what could have been. Yeah, your mind just goes to those places, doesn't it? Because you went on a date. Oh, anyway, I just wanted to say that one, like, I'm mind blown by that, like, coincidence or situation, I suppose. But it's just amazing how your life can take, or anyone's life can take, so many different routes just by changing what you do in this very moment. And it really makes you think how sometimes seemingly insignificant choices can make such a big difference. Anyway, moving on. There's another problem with online dating, and that is that there's a phenomenon. I don't know what it's called. It's probably got a name. God, my nose is red. Oh, I'm channeling like cartoon cold vibes, but I also think the saturation's quite high on this camera. I don't know what to do about that. Can you tell that I don't know how to use my camera? There are many things that I'm like, I don't know, there's something going on there. But anyway, this guy, shall I call him his real name or not? I never met him, so I guess I can. His name is James, I think. Look, James, I'm not happy with you because we spoke. This man is maybe still in the military. Now, I understand military situation means that, you're unavailable sometimes, you're off, you're back, and, you're on things, whatever you call them, tours or whatever. And then you have to leave at late notice, last minute. But we spoke for 8 weeks, every day, almost. There was only one point that we didn't speak, and that was when I was at a festival and there's like no signal, and also who's on their phone at a festival. Anyway, we spoke for 8 weeks, and then I can't remember how, but I got back, and then I really can't remember what happened. Anyway, we didn't end up meeting up. He chickened out of it. I think that, we were going to meet up, and then he was just avoiding it. And then I think I called him out on it, and he was like, oh, I'm just not sure, blah, blah. We were speaking for 2 fucking months. Like, I know it's just an online thing, and when somebody, when you watch that Catfish program, you're like, you never even met in real life, but you feel like you know somebody. You speak every day on the phone, you know somebody fairly well. Not on the phone, like ring ring, but like messaging, and sending pictures and stuff. Not weird pictures, just pictures. Anyway, I was like, that is one thing that pisses me off about online dating, is that people will go for weeks with no intention of ever meeting you, and it's like, why? I think they just want somebody somebody at the end of the line, but without the actual commitment of ever having to see them or spend any money or go out of their way to like meet them. So I think at that point I went into the stage of being like, I'm just gonna arrange to meet people within a week of speaking to them, otherwise I'm not bothering. And I think that's when I got into like the serial dating vibe, because it was like, I'm not going through that again. And I had another guy that did that too. He had some issues, I would say. He was also in the military. He was like, yes, I want to meet, and we met once, and then he was like, no, and he was like, yes, no, and he would cancel like last minute, and it was just like, I just don't think it was excusable. I think it was just, I want somebody at my beck and call, but I don't actually want to have to commit to anything. So yeah, that was one of my least favourite parts. We'll get into the least favourite next episode. That's not even the least. I think what we'll talk about now is let's not talk about that one. I think generally just I found most of the dates a little bit, this sounds a bit mean, but just a bit mediocre, and I think that came from the serial dating. I was just a bit like, I'm going to try and get through as many as possible. Like, I just met up with them, and it was mainly just, I guess I was trying to look for somebody, but I was also being like way too picky, and I think actually somebody being mediocre is actually a good thing. You don't want somebody that makes you feel like, I don't think butterflies are a good thing. I think it's like a feeling of nervousness or excitement, and I think if you want longevity, I'm not saying it's never worked, okay? I'm just saying if you want longevity, I feel like from my past experiences that having just a feeling of middle ground, like I'm not like, oh my god, I must follow this man around for the rest of my life, or not like ooh, I hate him, he's awful. Like, you need to be somewhere in the middle, just a bit like, yeah, I could see them again, but I'm not like, oh my god, I need to see you again, please. Because I think actually the mediocre ones are the ones that you haven't like ruled out, but you aren't completely obsessed with it and are going to drive you insane. And a lot of people say like, oh, girls are like, some girls are crazy, but I do think, yes, that's true, but also I think some guys turn girls crazy because of the way they behave, and they make people feel really insecure, and then that makes the kind of like insecurity come out. There we go, that's my analysis of that. I'm going to finish up on a funny story, although I don't know if I can be bothered to tell it, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, yeah, let's just do it. Again, another James, I think. Pretty standard name. Another James. This man works on an oil rig. There's 3 pictures. I was out with my friend, my housemate at the time, and we were in a pub, and I was like, what are you drinking? So I was just like, oh, it'd be cool to meet somebody tonight. Just go out and like see somebody, because my friend wanted to go home. So there was this man that I had been like speaking to a tiny bit anyway. I found out he was out that night, and he was like, I'm not around for very long. Again, choosing the wrong people. But if you want to meet up for a drink, then we can do that. And yeah, so I was like, okay, cool, fine, like, let's just do it. Why not, was my vibe. So I actually, yeah, his name was James. I thought it was something else then, but that was somebody else. It was his brother's name. Oh my god, I almost forgot. I should write this down before I forget. Done. So anyway, I walk, it's probably like 20 minutes to half an hour walk to get there, because I was a student, so we don't get a taxi, but also it really wasn't that far, so yeah, like a mile walk or something. So I walk down. I always get really nervous before I meet people on dates. I'm always like, I don't know, I think it's because I'm like, oh, are they gonna think I'm really gross, or are they gonna see me and like run away, or is it just gonna be really awkward, or I don't know, are they not gonna be there, or are they not gonna be the person that they said they were, and then I'm gonna not find them, and I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of concerns there. So this pub that we meet up in is a very rough it's a very rough pub, but it has windows, and literally, like, if it's a square, the seats are all facing like windows kind of, and then there's windows over like 50% of the walls, so as you walk up to it, everybody can see you like walking up, but you can't really see in. So I was like, I feel like I'm, he can definitely see me coming. Anyway, there's not many pictures. First mistake. Second mistake was just like going to meet him and being, I don't know, just going to meet him. As I'm walking up to this place, I get this message. He's messaging me like the whole way there. I don't know why. He's just insanely messaging me like, are you coming, and I'm like, oh my god, red flag. I should have turned around, but I was like, oh, I am like almost there, and also I feel bad just ditching him, but I should have done it. I think if it were me now, I'd be like, oh, sorry, I'm not coming. Would I though? I like to think that I would, but would I? I don't know, I'm too polite, I think. So anyway, he then sends me a message, which is clearly a message sent from him. It says, this message has not been sent, full stop, something like this, or this message cannot be delivered, or something like that. But it was like, he had sent the message, but at this point I was right outside. I was like, this was big black flags. I don't know if there's a flag worse than red, but if there is, it's black. Black flags. I was like, oh God, why am I going? Okay, so I turn up to this fish tank place, basically a fish tank, and walk in and see one guy alone who I'm like, it must be him. I'm sorry, but he's very much not for me. Let's put it that way. The pictures were kind of like here, like you really couldn't see his face, but I think there might have been teeth missing, and it gets worse. I've just remembered what we nicknamed him. We nicknamed him Heroin James not because he's a female hero, because he looked like he was on heroin, and he had this like skinny, gaunt, malnourished appearance. Teeth weren't on point, and he also had this kind of like glazed over look. Now, I don't think he was on heroin, but he was extremely, what do you call it, inebriated. He was so drunk he couldn't even like look at me straight. It was like 11:30 at night, bad idea. But also I can't really say much. Like he wasn't a student, but you know, I've definitely been drunker than that, earlier than that before. Anyway, he's absolutely off his head, like can't even see straight, slurring his words, can barely walk. I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. And then I sit down, and there's this like wall here, and it's like a bench system thing, and he's like sat there. It's actually the other way around, but anyway, he's like moving closer and like leaning over, and I'm like moving away from him until I get to this wall, and I literally can't move any further, and I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, I drink my one drink fairly quickly, and he's like, you want another one? And I'm like, no, I'll have to go. I'm sorry. It's it's quite late, and I've been out for quite a long time with my friend already. So I leave. Praise the Lord. As I leave, he's messaging me all the way home. I'm like, please don't follow me. Messaging me like all the way home, like, come back, why are you leaving me? And I was like, oh my God. That was the worst date of my life. And on that bombshell, I bid you a good night. I hope you've enjoyed it. Come back on Monday for the ugly, because it gets worse. You think that was a bad story? It's probably it's the worst date I've been on, but it's not the worst like affected I've been. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye. This is not how I wave, by the way. This is how I wave. Bye.